all those moments will be lost.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on into the very first episode of the Alpha Show. My name is Bradley Richardson, and you're probably wondering what on earth this actually is. The show is going to cover video games, movies, pop culture, and beyond. Everything somewhat related to these has a decent chance of being featured. The show will be released weekly, with each episode focusing on a new topic and providing insight into it like only we can. However, there is no one defined format for this. Possible formats include playing, investigating, exploring, reacting, discussing, and everything in between. The inspiration for the show itself predominantly comes from me thinking it would be damn cool. I also thought it would be cool to give it an 80s retro theme and typical name of the era. Think The Wonder Years or Miami Vice. So here we are, and without further ado, let's get right into the first episode. There's no better way to kick off the series than by looking at the future from the past. In every satirical sense, we are going back to the future. If you haven't been living under a rock for the past 30 odd years, you're probably going to have a fair idea what this is. But for those of you who have, it is time to literally see the light and learn about my love affair with these three films, along with some other analysis, of course. Back to the Future is a trilogy of films directed by legendary filmmaker Robert Zemeckis. The films were released in 1985, 89, and 90, starring Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. The films followed the story of Marty McFly and Dr. Emmett Brown, who is more affectionately known as Doc Brown. Essentially, the story encompasses why you shouldn't build a time machine using a DeLorean. Without spoiling too much, because you really should go watch all three of them right now, Marty takes it upon himself to fix the mistakes made by the time-traveling experiment gone wrong. This includes saving Doc, Space-Time Continuum, and Doc again. The film trilogy was a box office success, grossing over $900 million worldwide for all three films. And despite their falling critical ratings, it has remained one of the most positively acclaimed film trilogies of all time. Back to the Future has also been the inspiration for various spin-offs coming under its license, including an amusement ride, video games, a musical, and even an automotive commercial. There is nothing more telling than this.
Works, right? You bet your ass it works.
So you gonna take us for a spin or what?
Hop on in.
These films are just so damn important. I love them for reasons including a flying DeLorean, the famous quote,
Saturday night, we're sending you back to the future. Right, Scott?
a hoverboard, auto-lacing shoes. I could go on all day. But jokes aside, the trilogy does also happen to be a beautiful piece of filmmaking. I'm no film analysis guru, so bear with me. Zemeckis, along with his talented crew, were able to rationalize and conceptualize the past, present and future into a light-hearted film that captivated audiences. They turned what is normally a serious topic of time travel into a brilliant comedic base for the films. They also happened to be a lesson in visual storytelling. The movies were created with the intention of them being watched continuously, so far so that the second and third films were shot at the same time and released only half a year apart. This allowed for the different eras of the film to be intelligently crafted together to create the cohesive and captivating story. Zemeckis was also a master of filmmaking precision and incorporated this throughout the films. From the long opening shot and the foretelling of the clock tower to the power of love and the old lady breaking up Marty's kiss with Jennifer. These films are not only something that are damn important to me, but they should be damn important to you and filmmaking as a whole. October 21st, 2015 officially marked Back to the Future Day, the date in which Marty travels forward to in the second film. It also marks our fascination with understanding the trilogy's portrayal of the future and the influence that it might have had. Back to the Future is often compared to our real timeline with surprising results. It got several things right and a lot of things completely wrong. Some of the coolest things it got right were tablets, 3D blockbuster films, video conferencing, and the prevalence of fingerprint scanning. However, there were also a lot of things it got completely wrong, including the fashion, although millennials do still dress strangely, just in a different way. Self-serving robots, food hydrators, and making the Cubs out to be better than they actually are. Back to the Future conceptualized pre-existing ideas about the future, which led to an almost eerie feeling of influence that it had over it. Inventions such as hoverboards, flying cars, and auto-lacing shoes seem to have all come because of the film. Despite this probably not being the case, I'd like to think so for the pure reason of spurring on my love for the trilogy. Back to the Future, along with accomplishing everything else that it has, was also able to give us lessons to apply to our lives. It taught us that we actually do need roads.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
It taught us that we should never listen to Strickland, or any principle for that matter. It taught us that we should just never accept being called chicken.
What's wrong, McFly? Chicken?
But above all else, it taught us to take control of our futures and make it what we want. Despite the admittedly far-fetched story of Marty controlling his future through a time-traveling DeLorean, the underlying message remains the same. The future is what we make of it, and it's up to us to create a future in which we want to live and don't need to constantly save a doctor from. You can probably tell by now that I really do love these movies. They are just able to encompass something truly special. If you haven't seen them yet, I urge you to go watch all 3 of them right now. I don't care where you are or what you're doing, this is your priority. Go ahead and even contact me if you need a false note to get out of work. Nonetheless, thank you for tuning in to the very first episode. We're still building and developing the show into what it needs to be, so please leave your feedback in the comments down below or contact me directly on bradley@pyjama.co.nz. Once again, I'm Bradley Richardson, and it has been my pleasure to enlighten you. See you, bye.